Hi everyone, it's Tracy here and welcome back. Today I'm using a stamp set from Mama Elephant and I am going to stamp the little balloon bunch. And I'm stamping this on some Coordinations 110-pound cardstock with my VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I'm going to be watercoloring using the Zig Clean Color brush pens, so that is why I'm using this ink, because it is a pigment ink and it won't smear with that water. I'm also stamping the little bunny rabbit, and even though I'm coloring this in with Copics, I accidentally stamped it with the VersaFine ink, but I would stamp that with the Tuxedo Black Memento ink usually. So I have my Zig Clean Color brush pens. I'm using a purple and then also a pink, and you can see I'm just coloring in parts of this, so the parts that would naturally be darker on the balloons. Then I'm moving on to this bright green color, and I'm going to have all of these supplies linked below if you're interested in any of the colors or any of the stamps and stuff that I'm using. Then I'm taking my water brush pen and blending all of those colors out. So they react with water, so once you add that water to them, they really blend out. And they're a really fun marker to work with because the colors are so bright and vibrant. I just love these, and you can also blend them with each other. So I could take that pink and blend it with a purple to get kind of an ombre look to it. So I'm just going to continue until I get all of those blended out. Then I can go ahead and move on and color the little bunny rabbit. Like I said, I'm coloring this in with Copics. I would not use this ink that I use just because it does smear a little bit. So I am trying my hardest to not go over any of the black lines because I don't want to smear them out. I'm coloring the entire bunny in with my W1. It's a warm gray color. And then I'm just doing a little bit of shading with the W3. Normally I would do a lot more shading on there, but like I said, I really did not want the lines to smear. I just added a little rosy cheeks with the RV10 and also to the tummy of the rabbit. So I'm using this pint-sized patterns from Lawn Fawn, and I have two different ones. I have a lighter and a darker blue, and I'm using this border die, the cloud border die from Memory Box. I'm going to cut the smaller piece with this die so that it looks like some puffy clouds. I'm going to go ahead and run this right through my Cuttlebug. I went ahead and taped it down with some washi tape just so that it wouldn't move while I did run it through my Cuttlebug. So then I'm going to pop this piece up, and you'll see a mistake that I made. So I'm popping this piece up, but I'm going to stamp my sentiment on there. As many of you know, that doesn't work very well when you're trying to stamp a sentiment and there's foam squares underneath. So I'm going to show you a little trick that I used to stamp my sentiment on there. So this is going towards the bottom of that pattern paper. And then I'm going to add a May Arts Natural Twine bow around the bottom. So I'm just going to cut a little string off that's about 2 inches longer than the cardstock base. And then I have 2 pieces of Scotch tape, so I'm going to tape one end to the back, and then I'll flip it over and make sure it's where I want it to be on the front, and then tape it onto the back. I just find it a lot easier to tie the bow on the front this way. It's kind of a cheater method. So I'm going to adhere this onto my white A2 size card base. And then I'm going to kind of situate where I want my bunny and balloons to be, just so that I know where to tie the bow on the front of my card. I always like to plan things out ahead of time because otherwise I'll end up adhering it down and then really not liking where it is. So it just helps to kind of lay everything out first. Like I said, I'm going to tie a bow onto the left-hand side. And look at how quick and easy that was to tie the bow. I didn't have to worry about it getting loose or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and trim the ends, and then I am going to adhere those two images with some 3D foam squares. I'm using the larger foam squares from Best Creation. And then once I take the backings off from those, I can place them down onto my card base. And I want to make sure that it looks like the bunny is holding the balloons. So I'm just going to try to line that up as best I can. Now you can see I stamped that sentiment right below the bunny, but the entire middle spot did not stamp down. So I took a piece of white cardstock and I'm going to stamp my sentiment again on there, right in the same area that I stamped the previous one. Then I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of that white strip. And then I will just adhere that right over my stamp mistake. And then it'll cover it up and nobody will ever know that it was once there and a mistake on my card. Alright, so then I'm going to add some sequins. These are the Snowflake Sequin Mix from Mint Owl Studio. I'm just scattering a few of these randomly onto the card. I shouldn't say randomly because I do kind of strategically place them. I like to work in a triangle pattern. It just looks more pleasing to the eye and it kind of draws you in to the focal point on your card. So I'm adhering these down with some multi-matte medium, just putting a dot behind each one, and then I can go ahead and press each sequin down into the adhesive. So then my last step, I'm going to add my clear Wink of Stella pen to each of the balloons. Now you want to be careful because it is a liquid inside of the Wink of Stella pen, and those Zig Clean Color brush pens do react with water. So if you do too much of it, it will start moving that color around again. So I just went over it really lightly and only did it like once on each balloon so that the color didn't blend anymore. So that is my finished card for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please make sure that you are subscribed to my channel to catch all of my latest videos, and I will see you guys back here next time. You can click right here on this box to see my last video. Bye!